A lot of our ninjutsu martial art here in Kage no Michi, right, is footwork based. We always want to move our feet. We don't want to be a stationary target doing stuff, right? We want to be mobile and moving. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on a bit of a footwork drill. We call this four-way lunges and switches. So what we're going to imagine is we're in our fighting stance position. Remember, feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, so we have nice base, okay? And we want to make sure we are keeping our hands up. Now, we're going to practice lunging, okay? When we lunge, the foot that's in front is going to stay in front, and we're going to move a particular direction. So if I'm going forwards, I'm going to lunge forward, like that. If I'm going backwards, I'm going to lunge backward. This way or this way, because some of our students aren't sure about their left or right, because they're little. Okay, we're going to move this way and that way. Now, whatever foot is closest to the direction we want to move, that is the foot we're going to move first. I'll give you a second to write that down if you're taking notes. Got it? Okay, so if I'm going this direction, what foot is closest to that direction? Well, that one. So I'm going to move it first. Okay? If I'm going that way, which one's closest to that direction? Well, that one. I'm going to go that way. Now let's say forward and backward. If I'm going forward, which foot is going to move first? This one, right? Boom. And backwards, same thing. Boom. You'll notice that this foot stays in front. Okay? All right, it doesn't switch. Because switching is what we're going to do now. All right, we call this a jump switch. When we're going from this position, we're going to switch our feet like this, all right, and we're going to switch our hands. Whichever foot is in front, that's the hand that's in front in our fighting stance, okay? So if we're in, say, a stance like this and we want to do a jump switch, we're going to switch our feet and switch our hands, all right? Now notice I'm not doing this. It's not what we want to do. We've got to make this switch happen quickly. We want to be caught in the air, right? So we're, in the air doing nothing important, all right? We want to go ahead and switch quickly. Alright, so we can also switch by moving forward like this. I can switch forward, switch backward, okay, I can do all that stuff, alright? So when we do our lunges, remember, the foot that's in front stays in front, alright? Whatever foot is closest to the direction we want to move, we'll move first, okay? But for our switches, we're actually going to switch which foot is in front. It's going to switch, and make sure our hands switch. I don't want to see this. None of that, okay? This is not where we want to be. Front foot, front hand, they're the same, always, okay? So parents, you guys can do an awesome Simon Says with this. Simon Says, switch forward, switch back, jump left, not jump left, rather, lunge left, lunge right, kind of make it a game out of it. Having their hands up always, and making sure they're landing in a good fighting stance like this, okay? Making sure our back foot is up, ready to move, okay? Knees slightly flexed, okay? We don't want to be like this, and we don't want to be like that. That's not what we want, okay? All right, we want to make sure our legs are ready to go, like we're about to take off in a race of some sort, okay? That's where we want to be, all right? And make sure when we land from our lunges or our switches that we are in a good fighting stance, meaning we're not walking on a tightrope. Super, super common mistake, right? If I switch forward, I go like this, boom. Now my feet are almost in a straight line. I don't have a lot of balance side to side, okay? So make sure that when you're working with your partner, have your partner try and push you, okay? Lunge this way, they try to push you, all right? And just make sure you can kind of hold your balance like that, all right? And a little secret, if you ever feel like you're getting knocked off balance, bend your knees a little bit more, all right? All right, good luck with those lunges and switches. Footwork is really, really important. Right now we're going to discuss how we can evade strikes from the inside, mostly against like their hooks and things like that. So hooks are these half circular kind of punches, like horizontally speaking, okay? Not circular like that. That's not what we're trying to do, okay? Circular like this, like half circle. My arm's traveling like a half circle kind of move, all right? And that's what we're looking to avoid getting hit by in this situation, okay? So we're imagining they're trying to hit us in the head, all right? In this case, we're not going to throw up the block or anything like that, even though we could do covers and counters, all right? But another way we can do it is evade entirely. It's one of the principles of ninjutsu, evasion, right? So what I want you guys to focus on for this initial week is just getting that ducking motion done. Now there's a beginner, basic kind of duck, and then there's an advanced duck, okay? Don't let that confuse you though. Beginners are going to be for like the little ninjas, all right? The advanced duck is going to be for the juniors and the adults, okay? So remember, keep that in mind. The basic duck from right here, for the little ninjas here, if that punch starts to come in head level, we're just going to bend our knees, bring our hands up, and come back up. That's all we're going to do. Doesn't matter what hand they're using or what direction it's coming from. We're just going to duck down, come right back up. Notice my hands are going from here, up here, right? I don't want to have my hands go down when I duck. That's not what I want. Okay, we need to ensure we're being protected. Okay, so from right here, hands go up and back up. All right, not going to worry about any counters yet. Okay, so really basic beginner duck. Bend those knees. Don't do this. We're not bending our back. You want to maintain eye contact with the opponent so you know what they're going to do. Bam! Defend. Okay? Just like that. Alright? Now, if we're going to get a little more advanced with it, we're going to try to do a little bit more nuanced movement. Okay? This is for the juniors and the adults. So that hook is coming on this side of my head. What I want you to do is I want you to get your defense up. Okay? We're going to turn away from that strike. Alright? To kind of build a little bit of time into the equation. Away from it. Ducking underneath it. And come around and back up. You'll notice that I'm kind of drawing a circle with my head. I always tell the people here in studio, if I have like a marker in my mouth, I want you to imagine drawing a circle like that. Okay, that's the general idea. But what I really want you guys to focus on for this particular week is not only making that circular motion, but getting our feet into the equation. And that's going to help you get that circle made. So watch. Let's say I take my hands out of the equation entirely. All right, what I want to do is when this punch starts coming in, all right, I'm just going to move my feet this direction. Notice how my head moves away from that line of fire, like that. I'm pivoting. I'm going to duck. I'm going to pivot underneath that strike, and then come back front, okay? And later we're going to put a counter in here, so we're going to pivot again. But in this case for now, just to make sure we get that basic motion happening, we want to pivot away from the strike, duck under it with a pivot, and come back straight, okay? Whatever side they're coming on, this way or this way. If it's this side, I'm going to duck away from it, okay? Go under it, pivot back, all right, and come front, okay? So I want you to remember that whenever we're pivoting like this, usually we're loading our counter strike, ready to go, okay? So this is kind of building some time. This is loading up our counter and ducking underneath the strike, and this is where we're going to come back and counter later. But for now, let's just go like this. Hands here, up, down, back. All right, so it's basically 3 pivots. 2 really strong ones, 1 really strong pivot, 2 really strong pivot, and this one I'm not coming all the way over, I'm just coming back to front, so it's kind of like a little half pivot, all right? So you can use those in your count. Count 1, 2, and a half. All right, think of it that way. Or the other direction, 1, 2, and a half. All right, sort of like that, okay? But focus on your feet, okay? If your feet are right, your body's going to move naturally correct, okay? I don't want you just to go like this. That's not what I want you to do, okay? Use your legs and your motion in that equation, okay? And it will help you get good circular motion going. So let's see what it looks like with an opponent here from a side view. Let's say Sensei Moore is going to throw this hook at me like this. Bam, all right? Beginner duck, I'm just going to go down underneath it, come right back up. Okay, real simple. Notice I'm watching him. I'm not looking at his feet. They are eating knees like that, right? I'm going to go ahead and go straight, duck, back up, ready to fire back, okay? If we're doing the advanced duck, right? Let's say this hand comes in. I'm going to cover and turn away from it, go underneath it, and then reset, okay? This side over here, I'm going to turn away from it, underneath it, and reset, okay? So practice it slow. Practice it in the air. Imagine drawing that circle for the advanced, all right? And for those of you who are doing the beginners, the little ninjas here, down and back up, okay? Really good ducks. Both of them are useful, the beginner and the advanced. So I expect the juniors and the adults to do the beginner one and the advanced one, okay? But for the little ninjas, do the circle one as a bonus if you want to, okay? But one for your Q test is going to be the beginner duck, okay? All right, good luck with that, guys. We'll be here. We're going to be working on our Eskrima defenses, where we have a stick in our hands and the opponent has either a stick or a bigger, longer baseball bat kind of weapon, whatever it is. All right, how do we defend ourselves in that situation, okay? We call this our 3, 4, and 9 Eskrima stick defenses, because what we're going to do motion-wise is exactly the same moves as number 3, number 4, and number 9 from our Eskrima 9 strike, if you know what that is. But if you don't, it's okay. We're working on these individually at this point, so here's what it looks like, okay? If I'm in my fighting stance right here, all right, I'm going to have 3 different motions that I'm going to be working on. First one we call number 3. I'm going to take my back foot, go that direction with it, create a ramp over here, a shield over my head, where my hand is not directly here in line of where they're trying to hit, up higher than that. Okay, I'm looking underneath this roof line right here, and I have this portion based off of my arm, okay? Not my elbow, where it can slip and I can get hit in the head, but off of basically the back of my tricep, just like that, okay? Now, if I were to do a counter from here, I would take this stick and come around and hit. And I can hit sideways, diagonal. We're not really worried about where you're going to counter at this point, but the idea is getting that defense up and in play. So I'm going to lunge away. Let's say the strike is coming here on this side of my head. I'm going to create that roof right here, all right, as a deflection, all right, and then bring it around my head and counter. Okay, that's what our number 3 looks like. And you'll see what these look like against an opponent in a second. Number 4 is when I go the opposite direction. Let's say they're hitting this way, okay? I need to get a shield on this side of my head. From right here, I'm going to go ahead and lunge, all right, like a 45-degree angle this direction, and I'm going to create this shield, okay, from right here. Notice how I'm looking through this 4. It's like a number 4 here with my arm and the stick, so that's kind of why we call it a number 4. It's also number 4 of these extreme striking drills that we do. But anyhow, from right here, right, this is where we're going to look through. Here, I don't want my elbow out there, because it's going to get smacked. I don't want to be looking on this side of the stick, because I'm going to get hit in the head. This is where we want to be, just like that. And notice my other hand, of course, is up. Okay, so from right here, lunging, taking this stick and directly, bang, going like that, okay? Now there's a little subtlety on this I want you guys to watch. What I'm not trying to do is I'm not trying to like flip this stick around, okay? I'm not trying to really flip my stick around. The idea that I want you to think about is almost doing like an uppercut with this hand, okay? So this stick doesn't come up and then down, like a bigger arc like that. It just kind of turns maybe on this midpoint, boom. All right, it gets to its defensive position a lot faster, and that's where we want to be, just like that. Especially when we're doing a bunch of strikes, and let's say we're right here. Okay, we just did our number 3, and then we're going to try to do a number 4 defense, right? It's trying to hit us on this side. If I take this stick and I flip it like that, all right, I'm picturing moving that stick a lot. That's not going to do it, right? I got to be able to get this stick to a defensive position faster. So instead of flipping it like that, I've got to turn my wrist and get it up there, like that, okay? It's going to be a lot faster. Here, I could almost catch that weapon coming in on me. We don't want that. We want it to come up and defend, okay? So, one more time. 3 is this way, boom, like that, and we can counter if we want, like that. 4 is the opposite direction, boom, defending with the number 4 looking stick right there. And then number 9. Number 9 is we're imagining some sort of like straight poke or attack at our leg or something like that. We're going to get this front leg out of danger. We're going to come back down, boom, and defend. Notice how my stick here is outside of my leg, all right? If someone's trying to like poke me in the leg or something like that for something, I don't want to just stop here and not defend my leg in its entirety, right? We want to make sure when we're stepping back, that stick does a full arc right there. It's kind of like a windshield wiper motion, just like that, get it to the outside of the leg, okay? Let's see what that looks like with a partner. Okay, Sensei Moore's over here. He's going to grab a weapon off the rack. There we go, he likes the Shinai, all right? So in this case, he's going to attack me on this side, and I'm going to do a number 3. When they're attacking on my left, okay, that is a number 3 defense. So when that happens, I'm going to step this direction, and boom, get that ramp going, okay? From here, I can counter if I want to, okay? But the idea right now, let's focus on getting the defense in place. So 3 right here, boom, like that, defending, okay? That's what I want to do, okay? So make sure when we're lunging, not here, right? You can tell this is kind of self-correcting too, because if you're doing it with a partner, you'll know if you're doing it or not. Get that block above your head and make sure your hand is not in the line of fire. Okay, those are 2 really, really common mistakes. Okay, now number 4, if he's coming on this side of my head like this, I'm going to go this way, boom, and create that defense on that side. Again, I should see the opponent through this window right here. And again, my hand shouldn't be down here where it could potentially be getting hit. If he's trying to hit me in the head, okay, where my head is right here, he's going for that hit right there. If I keep my hand in that spot, even if I move, I can get my hand smacked. Okay, so we want to make sure we get our hand defended and get it out of the line of fire just like that. Okay, now number 9, okay, if he's going to go for like a straight poke, it can be anywhere. Here, anywhere down my center line or at my legs. I'm going to step back and defend to the outside. Okay, just like that. All right, now where this stick ends up is depending on where you're defending, right? If he's kind of going high, I may have to go like that and defend it kind of weird, all right? But what do you want, okay? But if it's down at my center line, boom, it may be there. If it's down at my leg, something like that, boom, it may be down low, okay? Whatever I do, I'm trying to make sure I make contact and defend. That's the whole purpose of the maneuver, right? Where I'm landing is what's called the back stance. 60% of my body weight's on my back leg, 40% is on the front. If you don't know, Percentages, don't worry about it. Google it, you'll figure it out. All right, from right here, I want most of my weight back here, okay? Notice how this foot's kind of pointed back that direction. This one is still pointed forward at the opponent, okay? So I'm going to go back like that, okay? Now, if I'm in this position and I want to do a counter, it's a big move. I got to push my weight back that direction and hit. Okay, I'm kind of going like this though. Here, I don't come around this way and smack it, okay? From here, I'm going to do like a back fist kind of motion and smack that stick that direction, okay? Going like that, all right? So those are the 3 moves we want to work on, the 3, the 4, and the 9, okay? Little subtleties, right? Good defense, making sure everything's right. Elbow pointed at the opponent here. This is above my head, hands in the right spot, and I step the right direction, okay? I don't want to go like this and step like that, okay? And there's a good reason for that too, okay? If I want to do a counter from here, all right, and the stick is up here on my head, if I try to come and hit where the bad guy was, my feet are all crossed up, okay? I can't get a good counter in there, right? My body's turning on itself. So what I have to do is keep my weapons engaged in the game here. Okay, now my hands are here, I can turn really easily and get other parts of my body back into the equation, all right? So, 3 is this way, to your right, okay, like that, and our counter looks like that if you want to try to counter. 4 is to our left, boom, defending, okay, make sure you have this looking through the window, right, make sure you have this on your shoulder, not floating, okay, this way you can get disarmed, like that if it hits you, okay, keep it secure and tight, okay, just like that, okay, counter is like that. Okay, pivoting my feet, okay? And then number 9 is if I'm up here and I need to get away from the opponent, I'm moving everything back out of range and defending what could potentially be in range. All right, just like that. And then my counter is going to be striking like that. Okay, notice how I'm now in the right lead in this case, and I can switch back if I need to. Okay, so those are our 3, 4, and 9. A lot of details. Do it every day, like 6 or 7 times. All right, just even the form, and then work with a partner.